I was just like looking. I'm like, this shit working? Oh yeah, it is live. Yeah, we're good. Fuck.
Why?
Share this shit. Facebook.
Instagram.
2018 ain't starting off right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook.
You hate Facebook as you post.
As you post. And I'll put Danny's Facebook.
All of a sudden, Rich Ring is inactivated.
I know.
Deactivated account.
What's the Rich's count? I think he got fucking blacklisted. Anyway, we back here. It's 2018, goddammit. The ParBar's in the house. And we're off to a super late, horrible start.
Yeah.
Facebook unauthorized.
Ain't nothing working for us.
Nothing. The lights ain't working in this bitch. Facebook account ain't working in this bitch.
I don't know.
And it wouldn't matter if I was drunk, but I'm not. So now I'm sober and I realize all the pain I'm going through.
Things would have went better, huh, Rich? If you had a little alcohol.
I think that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you just don't notice.
Yeah. You just kind of. You're like a functioning alcoholic. You just kind of go through the process of what you know. And
That is horrible.
Or no, when you're drinking, you just don't give a fucking like. It's fucking working.
That's more like it. That's more like it. The truth comes out.
Anyway, we're back. 2018. ParBar's here. We kind of took a longer break than expected. Holidays kicked in, and this got too crazy, man. It was nuts. Christmas was here. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you need some catch-up time, especially with your family.
You're trying to do those last-minute shopping things, which we were talking about in our last podcast before we split. And man, shopping was nuts. My wife, I felt bad for her because she was out there trying to catch everything up. I was at work, and then she had to go to work, and I had to watch the boys, and then we had to start planning for food, and Tommy kind of forgot about that stuff. So, we said, screw it.
Good.
Let's just focus on family. We'll get back to it in 2018.
We've always said that, though.
Ain't no one listening to this shit during the fucking end of the year anyway.
In 2018, everything's still the same.
Ain't nothing changed.
Ain't nothing changed. Anyways, as always, we're back here at the ParBar. My name's Rich D, and to my right.
What's up, everybody? Vince T.
And to his right.
Uncle No half a day.
And join us in 2018 for our first guest at the ParBar, Mr. Brent Edwards.
Oh, what's up, Brent?
What up? Thanks for having me.
He's a good friend of the MOD for UP guys.
Oh, really? We're gonna talk mad trash today.
That's actually where.
Oh, by the way, Mike, I need the microphone back.
Yeah.
You ain't even podcasting no more.
That's why Brent's using the secondhand mic right now.
So Brent joins us from that's actually where we met over there at Dom's house.
Oh, right.
And great guy, and he does some real estate.
Yep.
You real estate?
Oh, awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I got a real estate company. That's what I do in my from my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say that's what he does in his spare time.
No, that's what I do in my full time. I wish it could be spare time. But kids gotta eat. Wife needs a roof over her head. She's like, feed the children. I'm like, man, why are you so needy?
I'm looking for a 2-story cardboard house.
I'll build you one right now. There's supposed to be one around
How
here.
much?
Dude, that's still gonna run $200,000.
San Diego, hell yeah. California. Anyway, so yeah, we come back here and let's just catch up real quick. Let's see what everybody's been up to. We'll start with Vince. You want to start off?
Let's start off with you.
Me?
Yeah.
Let's see. So Christmas was crazy.
Yes.
Obviously, we had 4 Christmases for the boys.
Whew.
Yeah.
Blessed children.
We cleaned up the garage. I mean, if you're on YouTube Live, you can see us. Anyway, cleaned the back. All right. And before I cleaned all this up, dude, the fucking garage was stacked with toys. Just stacked of toys upon toys. And I was like, man, no one bought them clothes. Like, just a bunch of Nerf guns and like,
and they're about to get more shit.
Yeah, like fucking 4 drum sets. I was like, yeah, just guitar. I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm happy for them, and every day they want to open something new, but, just like old school, I put things away. I'm like, you get to open one this week and maybe one next week. But we also got to get rid of the old toys from last year.
Right.
They still got toys up there, like, hidden from their first, like, Christmas,
Uh-huh.
They just have too much stuff. And so, they did that. And then it was still a busy week, the week of, after Christmas, and then we went to New Year's Eve. I had a cousin come in from North Carolina. He's getting deployed.
Nice.
Here soon. So he came down. He brought his daughters, and so my boys got to hang out with the daughters, and that was pretty much what we did. And then you bang right into 2018, and nothing slowed down, and now just trying to play catch up again.
Yeah. Amen to that, man.
Yeah. So that was pretty much the end of my year. And then there's a little bit more stuff that we'll share into that.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Me, man. Christmas was good. I mean, I saw you portion of the time. That was cool. I got some like dope think I'm in this broadcasting stage since we're doing a podcast on like everything that if family asks me if I want anything.
Yeah.
Like this arm. Like, what the hell you want an arm for? Like, what does that do? I was like,
Okay.
no, you get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm in this phase, but heading into 2018, I was sick, super bad, bro. I was like coughing up, I had a fever.
I caught some of that too.
Went to Rite Aid, they ain't had no medicine. they was all out, and I was like,
Fresh out.
dude, everything was clear, and I was like, you guys have any more? They were like, nah, we're not getting any till like really 2018.
Yeah.
I'll be dead by then, y'all. Like,
Yeah,
but it was cool. New Year's Eve, I didn't do too much. Went to a family party, but I didn't even stay for that. I went home like at 10 because I was sick. Just went to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm not really big on New Year's. I told you guys that. I
Yeah.
just stay home, and I know I feel safe there.
Yeah, I think we tried to party with you last year, and you're like, nah, it's
Yeah, they called me up. They had the guns out. Y'all had the guns out, right?
I
The
don't know.
macaroni.
Yeah.
The macaroni. Yeah, remember that? I think that was Uncle Nono.
Yeah.
He said, "What up? Got the macaroni down here." I was like, "Oh,
No,
hell
we,
yeah."
yeah, I got that sickness too, man. New Year's Day, the first, and I was just like, had the chills, super sore.
Yep, pretty
achy,
much.
Sweating. I couldn't stop sweating. Like I was like, what the fuck, man? But I was so cold. And Alyssa's like, take the damn blanket off. You know what sucked about having an ER as your as your wife, like an ER nurse, and she just like does not give a shit. She just gave zero shits that I was sick. She was like, you know what? Get over it. And I was like,
She's like, "I gotta deal with this all day at work, and now you."
I'm hurting. I'm aching.
It's not she doesn't care. She's a pro,
Yeah.
and she knows you're fine. So she's like, suck it up.
Yeah.
It's not she doesn't care.
No,
She's a pro.
fuck that.
she's like,
pro.
here,
I'm
take two of
I'm
these.
still going through it. I'm congested in the chest. I'm congested in the face. Man, it sucks. I'm just hocking
that
up
like-
all this like
that
fluorescent
cosmetically-
green shit.
Is that cosmetically congested in the
I was
face,
like, is that what
or
your
what?
face might look like? that?
Cosmetically
Fucked up,
congested.
dude. I'm fucking swollen, dude, right now.
Yeah, as opposed to other times.
So 2017 was different.
2017, I was skinny, man. Now I'm just congested. Nah, but man, I've been fucked up with this, man, ever since before New Year's.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right
you
after
were.
Christmas, man. I started feeling something, and then like New Year's, we headed up to LA to Paramount for a lowrider show in a hop, and I still
yeah,
got
dude.
it, man. I still got
Actually, I
that
remember that.
sickness.
Remember, because he didn't make one of the shows.
Because it was up in L.A.
No,
No,
he was sick.
No, he was
And,
sick.
yeah, I
yeah,
was sick.
And Mark came in.
yeah, because that's when remember we mentioned we didn't have no benefits.
Yeah, we had no
Oh,
benefit.
this year we do have benefits. ParBar got we picked that up this year.
What did we get?
We got benefits. We ain't getting paid, but we got benefits.
Oh, okay. What's our benefits?
Nobody asked that, man. You said benefits. We automatically, you got medical, you got 401k, all that stuff.
We ain't got shit, motherfucker.
We can't even get light bulbs.
Or medicine from Rite Aid, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only do you not have
Thanks,
benefits,
Brent.
you can't even get the over-the-counter
Yeah.
shit. It's rough out here in the streets.
You get an Arnold Palmer though. So.
Yeah. Well,
Are you done, Vince? I'm sorry, man. I cut you
No,
off. dude.
I didn't have too much.
But yeah, okay. Well, I had like 3 Christmases. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
with
yeah.
my just like me and the kids and the wife. You know what I mean. After that, we have my mom's side of the family and then my wife's side of the family. We did that, and then that was good. You know what I mean. It was a long ass day, and then we just went up to LA, man.
That's right, for the lowrider, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we went up there on Saturday. Was that New Year's Eve or the day?
Sunday was New
2
Year's
days,
Eve, right?
2 days before New Year's.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Oh, Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, we went up there. They had the massacre hop. It was really nice. A lot of people came out from all over, you know, the United States and shit for that.
What is that?
It's a car hop.
So what do they do?
Lowriders.
They just put the hydraulics on and
Oh man, these are like
they measure it or
like
something?
yeah, they
Oh,
measure
okay.
it and everything. And these is guys, man, that know how to hit their shit. You know what I mean? They're doing over 40 inches to
Oh, crap.
110 inches. You know what I mean? And that's like putting your car, you know, making it 90 degrees up in the air, man.
Is that expensive?
It gets very expensive.
I
You
would think
burn
so.
motors, break hoses, break ball joints, and you gotta fix your shit. You know what I
Right
mean?
there on the spot? Or?
Right there on the spot. You pull your car out, man, you fix your shit, and you go right back in there and shit for a battle. You know what I mean? Because they battle for like belts, man. They get big trophies and money.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That sounds dope, but replacing a ball joint on the spot, that sounds like a pain in the ass, man. That doesn't sound like an easy swap. I mean, changing a tire is one thing. It's like, oh, busted up ball joint, pop it off, let's do it. That sounds like work.
These guys get done within like 5 minutes, man.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they're fucking badass on what they do.
That's crazy.
And then we went up there on Sunday again, drove back down to San Diego, and then went back up Sunday morning. And Paramount, man, was just off the chains. You see everybody out there from stars, dude, you know what I mean, to ghetto thug ass motherfuckers, which is cool, you know what I mean. But
they're all there for the same reason.
Yes, exactly, for low riding, man, and they keep it easy over there. They keep it real easy. It was beautiful.
That's dope.
And then came back down Monday, went to Chicano Park, had to break out the mini truck on everybody. Rodney Cruz was out there with the mini truck, and then Fonz was out there with the mini blazer, and motherfuckers was jocking, dude. Yeah. They love the style.
Tight.
Yeah, had the bed dancer out there, so they're like, "Oh, what's up? Let it dance, let it dance." Kept on hitting the switches and everything. They're like, "Oh, that's old school," and it's like something they haven't seen since like the '80s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they see it still, but only like on their phones and shit. You know what I mean? Nobody's down here
still doing it.
Yeah, nobody's doing it down here in San Diego. There's probably like 1 or 2 trucks, but they don't even bust those out, man. Really. And one of the main trucks got sold out of here, and it's in Arizona now.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, that was, I believe it was Rap with Envy. You know what I mean? And it was Joe Fontanella. You know, he had the baddest truck, man. Lowrider Magazine, dude. Like 10 times, you know what I mean? Won numerous shows, first place trophies and shit. And he's the guy who inspired a bunch of, like, mini truck guys.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Other than that, man, yeah, it was blessed New Year's. You know what I mean? Just popping off rounds and the macaroni. Yeah, the macaroni.
Yeah.
And fireworks, man. We get fireworks up there at Paramount. Shit, I have found my baseball caps, my 501 jeans. You know what I mean? They had everything at the damn car show. It was like a damn swap meet. You get everything up there.
That's tight.
Yeah. It was awesome. Shit.
Brent?
Oh, the holidays are such a pain in the ass. I feel like I'm gonna be the only Grinch here.
I really gotta explain this again.
Shit, fucking holidays. No, it was good, man. My kids, like yours, just got the truck just backed up and dumped a shitload of toys in the living room.
Yeah.
My in-laws came down, and they don't get they see the kids 5 or 6 times a year living in the Bay Area. And so when they come down, when Nana and Papa come down, man, it's fucking on. I mean, these kids just point and click. I want this, I want this. And Nana and Papa are just like, anything you want. And that was 2 weeks before Christmas. So they had this huge runway from basically, middle of December till New Year's where we were opening stuff. And like you said, man, they've got toys on toys on toys. Or, you just can't keep up. Like I don't even have places to put this stuff. I can't even hide it anymore because I got nowhere to put it. So the kids are super blessed, and really the holidays for me are about them. I'm not really too keen on it, but to watch smiles on their faces was super cool. And man, we just kicked it at home a lot. I avoided the bugs so far, which has been good. But yeah, like you guys, a lot of people around me have been.
Well,
getting
good luck
it.
after this episode.
Yeah,
man. We all sick.
Don't get too close to that mic.
Yeah, no shit. So, but I took my licks in 2017. I was sick all the fucking time. I mean, I'm normally sick like maybe once a year with a little cold, but in 2017, man, every other week I was getting sick. I had mono for like damn near 3 months. Couldn't get off the couch. That shit sucks. So if I get the flu now to start 2018, I'm just gonna give the finger to the universe.
Good Lord.
Dude, I mean, after what I went through in 2017, if I got hit with the flu to start off this year, I just call it quits. I just never leave my house again.
Just gonna check out.
I just can't go outside. Hey, you want to come over? Nah, because were you sick once? You were sick once like 10 years ago. I'm not coming over. I'm not fucking with that. And yeah, we took the family camping for New Year's. We did some dirt bike riding. We went out to like outside of Nyland, which is like on the east side of the Salton Sea, like Ocotillo area. Yeah, so we did some dirt bike riding out there and fucked around. The kids loved that, and was with a bunch of white trash idiots doing redneck stuff out in the desert. So awesome. That's what we like to do. So it was a good time. But honestly, I'm stoked to be back at work. Like you said, man, we're just hitting 2018 hard and just back to normal, back to the grind. And that's what I like to be on, man. I got a very systematized schedule. I'm very routine I wake up at 5 in the morning every single day, and there's like a very strict system I have to get about my day because so many people count count on me, like, you know, between like my wife and my kids and, you know, the people that work for me and work with me and my clients, like there's all these people pulling me all these different directions. And so I need to be able to perform for a shit ton of people.
Right.
And that pressure, man, can get to you. And so if I don't have my routine on point, and I think that's what fucks me up so bad about the holidays. It's not that I don't like the holidays, it's that it completely throws off my routine, and all it's doing is pushing all of the stuff I have to do. It's not like it goes away because it's the holidays, but on January 2nd, it's like, okay, now I need you to do a month's worth of work in a week.
Yeah.
You know, so being back on the grind and back on the routine, I'm stoked for that and kind of back in my mode. So that's where I like to be.
You remind me of this Gary V.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah. So I mean,
Who's that?
Gary
Is that
Vaynerchuk,
the, like
he's
speech?
but he's just like an inspirational speaker, but he has tons of investments, and he's just he's very organized throughout his day, just like Brent. But this dude, he'll break it down to make you think that there are no excuses in life to not achieve something.
Yeah, he'll call you on your bullshit.
Yeah.
So he's a keynote speaker, and the way he got his start was he started like bumming around the Bay Area like early on in the tech boom, hanging out with like the Uber kid and like you know, like the guy who started Uber is one of his close buddies, and you know, he basically lived in like an incubator pad where it's just like a bunch of tech people in the Bay Area. And so he got
like
his
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, exactly. So he got his start like making investments in these companies that his friends were starting. And, you know, they're all like high-end tech geeks. And, you know, he hit it big on a couple of tech investments. And his parents owned a liquor store in New Jersey. And so he worked for his dad's liquor store growing up, just grinding, making like, you know, $12-15 an hour stocking shelves from like when he was a young boy. And when he started getting older, you know, into his 20s, he took over the liquor store, and he's like, listen, Dad, we need to be online. Like the internet, you know, in the mid-90s, he's like, email is where it's at. And he was like one of the first people to send out like email coupons. And everybody's like, what's this email thing in like 1996? And he's sending out like advertisement and emails when no one was on email. And so the wine business just blew up. And then about 2000, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that area, when YouTube first got started, he was like, hey, we got to be on YouTube. The rabbit's in the house.
The green rabbit's back.
Green rabbit. So he was like, we got to get on YouTube. And so what he did is he started Wine Library TV, where he'd get on YouTube and basically talk wine. And he took his father's company from like, they were doing, I don't know, $1 million or 2 or 3 up to like this tens of millions of dollars, and then spun that out into the tech space and keynote speaking. And he got into talking to people about how to brand yourself online. And so now that's kind of his key. So he runs an ad agency for like Fortune 500 companies and teaches them how to position themselves online. That's what he really does. But what we see, because that's all confidential, but what we see is, like you said, the motivation, the keynote speaking, that type of stuff.
Which that does wonders. I mean, it did wonders for me. Yeah. I mean, at least, I mean, it hasn't shown yet, but the thing about imprinting it in your brain, that's step one. You got to believe that you can do it, and, you know, take no excuses, no nothing like that. So, like you, I've been getting up super early. I do a lot of audio work, so I just been going in and just dragging myself, no matter how tired I am, just doing things like that, just start my day off right, get my mind focused. And
try to utilize all the time you have.
Yeah.
Because, you would think 24 hours is a lot, but it's not.
It's not.
Oh, man,
It's not at all.
And you're sleeping for half of it. You know, I mean, seriously, 6 or 8 hours, that's a big portion of the day.
Right.
I don't even get that, really.
Oh man, I need that at least. I need at least 6. I can't function.
2018 got some new drugs now.
But you're right, man. That mental, you nailed it. You got to believe that you could do it, and you got to believe that there's no excuses. And one of the parts of my morning routine is affirmations, and I've got like literally a list of things that I read out loud and say out loud to myself every single morning. It's not I don't read it. You have to hear yourself say it. So I mean, I got a list of things. I get up, the first thing I do in the morning, I drink my coffee and I start saying my affirmations. I'm a bold and powerful person. Like, you know, I've got gratitude in my heart for my marriage. I'm an agent that people want to work with. You know, I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. And there's all these things that I say to myself, even if they're not true yet. Yeah. If you repeat this stuff over and over and over and over again, it will turn out. And here's why. Have you ever bought a new car?
I know where he's going with this.
Have you ever bought a new car? You buy a new car, and then what all of a sudden do you see on the street? That car everywhere, right? Because it's imprinted on your brain. And it's the same thing with the opportunities in life. If you are completely telling yourself that you're going to be a certain kind of person and you're visualizing the success you're going to have, when an opportunity presents itself, just like the car, how you notice it, you're going to notice it and you're going to be able to strike on the opportunity.
No, go ahead and get your joke off. I know you was going with this because you got to say it out loud.
I was just like, man, this motherfucker sitting next to me is crazy. I was like, God damn.
Hey,
Hold on, he talks to
some-
himself and shit. You know what I mean?
Hell
I
yeah.
was like,
over here, Rich.
He waking up early in the morning. Yeah, who in the fuck did you bring over here? Because I'm
Yeah.
like, God damn.
No, you know,
He might try to kill us if
Yeah.
if he doesn't accomplish what he wanted to accomplish in the day. He's gonna kill somebody.
If I don't go through that morning, I'm gonna kill myself. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no,
Like when
no,
I miss
no,
those
no.
mornings, ooh, it's rough.
Well, if you kill yourself,
Nah,
just
hey,
know
hey,
you will
no,
get the
but,
jokes.
But that's
on here.
real good, motivation, man.
Yeah.
And that's positive thinking. You know what I mean? You have to be that person to drive yourself because ain't nobody can drive yourself but yourself.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I believe in that. You know what I mean? I don't wake up and talk to myself like that, but hey,
Not yet.
you know what? No, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
thanks,
beautiful. I understand what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just the comfort for you and your family.
Yeah, it sure
You know
is.
what I mean? Especially for yourself.
And the actions gotta follow. Like the
Yeah.
words don't mean shit.
Yeah.
The actions gotta follow.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
we just had
I
a
love these
scorpion.
damn
We just
kids.
had a scorpion,
Scorpion
card go
attack.
across the table.
Scorpion attack.
But no, that's really good motivation, man, and it would help a lot of people. A lot of people that I don't know. I guess that are lazy like my fat ass. You know what I mean?
Nah, I wouldn't even say lazy.
But
You just
no.
haven't found.
No, I don't got motivation for shit right now. Right? I want to
I
start
don't know,
my
I-
own
I-
shit.
We see you out there fishing.
No, I know.
Yeah,
but
So you got some motivation to go fishing.
Bastard.
No, but I'm
that's
looking,
food. That's food on the table, though.
But that's still
I'm,
motivation, though.
I'm just looking for an opportunity to fucking steal. That's what I'm doing.
To steal.
No, like a good opportunity to go out there and get what I want, what I need, not to
It'll
steal.
come.
but
It'll come 2018.
I'm looking
Yeah.
for a steal,
Yeah.
though.
But
A steal of a deal.
yeah, and you know, and you gotta think through it first. You gotta think it and see it in your mind before it's gonna come true. So like waiting
Oh,
for
yeah.
the opportunity, you gotta have at least like a list of, okay, here's somewhere where I want to go. So he said fishing. So let's assume it was something in fishing.
Right.
Like you gotta tell yourself every day, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna run the best fucking fishing boat in this goddamn world.
Well, I could.
I believe
Boom.
you. I believe you.
Yeah,
I
that's
I
it.
believe you,
So,
dude.
so
Yeah.
you gotta have there's an old saying that if you aim at nothing, you're gonna hit it every time. So you gotta have an aim. You've got to have something in your mind of where you might be in the future. Because if you don't, if you're just aimlessly wandering through, letting life happen to you, and you're not going out and happening to your life, it's gonna make it really difficult. Without that aim and something to go for, you're not gonna hit a goal that you don't think about or don't know exists.
Yeah, with that said, I'm guilty of that also. I mean, I catch myself be like, man, you could have did something when I'm just being lazy. I'm both sides. Like, I do have a lazy side, and then I have
Well, me too.
like where I get up and like, all right, got to do it. But
Yeah, I feel
that's all a part of the learning curve, I guess.
Yeah, well, and we're humans after all,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I
no.
certainly have my days, man. Or I fucking wake.
like,
I get to the end of the day, I'm like, I didn't do a damn thing productive. I woke up late. I got to work late. Didn't do shit.
'Cause I-
Ignored all my calls and went to sleep. Try again tomorrow.
Look at it though. It fucking felt good.
Say it out loud.
In the moment, it feels good, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, I didn't do shit.
Yeah,
I've
today.
been busting
the
my
next
ass
morning.
all year long. I got one day out of this motherfucker. I feel good.
So that's actually the reason why I brought Brent on was because this year, and I kind of posted something. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you might see it. So end of the year, I was kind of like going through like a weird stage,
Yeah.
and I stopped going to gyms. Kind of got lazy. Kind of got like in the depressed area. Not sure why.
It happens.
Well, actually, I kind of know why, but anyway, nonetheless, I kind of lost weight. Stopped going to gym. Stopped eating right. Didn't really give a shit. And so I just kind of like got back on, my footing, but I gave myself like a goal, which was like to, get back in the gym, start being healthy, hit a certain weight, which is like a lot of weight for me, like a 315 deadlift. I haven't really done that in a long time because I'm older and I just don't really care to do that. Nonetheless, I hit it, but I wasn't really impressed with myself because I kind of knew I could do it. Because it was
Was it challenging?
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah.
I already know I could do anything physical. Physical is pretty much easy for me. And I'm not sure which party it was. It might have been at Mike's or it might have been at Dominic's house. But I was talking to Brent and, oh shit, it might have actually been at your house for that card night.
Yeah, I think it was.
That was the very first night where Brent had told me that he went sober. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, how long has that been going on? I think he said 6 to 8 months now at that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, that's awesome. I was like, why'd you do that? He goes, I just needed to. I kind of felt like I needed to focus a little bit harder and my goals and that. And I left at his house and I was like,
That's me.
I was like, man, I need to try to go sober. Because every time I've tried it before, and every single time I've kind of failed. And it's because I just kind of like, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? You know, I kind of get bored.
Yeah.
I get, so I don't know, man.
I seen
It's
you
just
get
something
really
to do,
bored and
yeah.
you get very like
Yeah.
fidgety, like you need to do something.
I need to do something.
And you're
Restless.
you're more productive.
Yeah, so I would, you know, I like drinking. Like if I get things done, I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna have a drink now.
Reward yourself.
And then it becomes like, well, I did what I was supposed to do, but then I could have done more. But then I just got to drinking. So what happened was, kept on thinking about. Every time I see Brent, I follow up and see how his, shit was going. I'm like, man, how do you do it, man? How do you go to a party and not drink with all these motherfuckers drinking around you? And he would tell me, he goes, I make me a drink. It makes me feel like I'm drinking. I have like, because a lot of it's fixation. You're at a party, you want to drink. And I was like, all right, just get a little bit more in my head. And I was like, this time I was like, you know what? 2018, I'm gonna go sober. So that's my mentality. At least 60 days. I was like, I'm gonna give
that was my
myself.
question.
Yeah, I was like, not for the whole like for life, whatever, but at least 60 days. So that's so I know I can break it. Because I think the longest I've ever done is like
A month.
not even that. I think it was 2 weeks. No, it was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. No, it was a month, but I was able to drink beer, just not liquor.
Oh yeah.
That was
that's
it,
what
yeah.
was.
Which ended up being like a fucking 90 pack a day.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Just like
Yeah,
smashing the
right.
shit out. I'm like fucking shotgunning beers by myself at 9 a.m.
What's this keg for? You have a party? No, that's for me, man.
for me.
No liquor this month. That's for me.
So it ended up like, but this time I felt mentally ready. I felt like mentally I was going to make it. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready for this. I was like, I'm going to beat it this time. And so every Friday I usually go, all my boys drink. And this is the first weekend I'm actually going through, like, usually Friday, Saturdays when I have my issues. But this time it was cool. It wasn't a big thing. Like all the my buddies were drinking around me and doing all that stuff. And I was just sitting there like, cool. I was drinking like coffee, or I would drink like a tea, or drink like a soda, which I hate fucking soda. But I fucking hate soda. And so, but I drink something, and then I would eat something sour, and kind of cruise through. It wasn't a big deal.
No.
And this time I told everybody too. So I told everybody that I was gonna go sober, which is
that
before.
helps.
I think before when I wouldn't tell nobody, I would be like, I could do this by myself. I don't need nobody's help. This time I told everybody, so it's like public accountability.
Yeah.
And I don't also want to let people down, and I don't want people to be like, man, I knew you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
goes
shit's
to
frustrating me.
that.
That's me.
That leads to everything else though. Nobody will believe you. Like if you say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," they'll be like, "No, you're not."
Mm-hmm.
Just any goal that you set. You're
Right.
Like, nah, you couldn't even do that one. How you supposed to do this one?
Right.
Yeah. So it
So-
starts here. It starts here.
I said 60 days minimum, and if it goes further, it goes further.
And you think that'll help you just cut down in life?
I can tell you this. This weekend, I was productive as fuck. I woke
I know
up.
we see the garage. It
Yeah.
looks good.
I was like cleaning dishes, cooking breakfast, cooking like just ready to do something. Went to go work out yesterday, and just trying to figure out something to do without.
In the meantime, yeah.
Yeah.
Or without thinking about
It's amazing how many hours are in the day when you're sober the whole
Yeah,
time.
I swear to God, I was
Yeah.
like, "There's a lot of fucking hours now."
Yeah, a lot of downtime
Yeah.
it. I mean, there's a 3 p.m.
yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, so that was actually why I brought Brent on, because a lot of things that, and this is kind of like goes back to the island community, what I've seen and even what I've grown up through, heavy drinking at all island parties. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's not a horrible thing. It's just something I'm used to. My dad was a heavy drinker.
My
yeah.
dad drank every day.
Yeah.
Like at least beer.
Yeah, at least a couple beers.
Yeah.
And I've never really drank during the week. It's always been binge drinking. But that's nonetheless, I mean, it's still an signs of alcoholism. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just gonna try to cut the line here for me with that whole drinking thing, and see if I can, as long as I can mentally do it and I can get through it. Who knows where it leads, but at least I'm setting something. At least I set a goal.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think he's already there just by confirming it.
Yeah.
Or
So big kudos to Brent, and I appreciate like just talking me through. I don't know why it was Brent of all people that was able to talk to me, because I've never had a bunch of people say like, "Man, you should try not drinking." I'm like,
Because
"Fuck
you
you,
probably kill your ass.
Yeah, yeah, the guy that talks to himself.
He's gonna fuck come in my window.
Remember,
Hey.
motherfucker, I talk to myself.
Well,
5 in the morning.
here's my opinion on why my words may have had an impact on you, is because I never told you what you should do. All I did was share my experience with you. And I find like with these types of things, man, I'm not trying to preach to anybody, because I've got no problem with people who drink. I mean, I'm an alcoholic, and I've got a drinking problem, and it took me a long time to confront that. But I'm you know, and so people, so now as I start to go through this process, and like you said, when I first started this journey, I didn't tell anybody that I was an alcoholic, that I was quitting forever, or most people I didn't even tell that I had quit drinking. You know, people would say, "Oh, you want to drink?" And I just say, "No, I'm good. I'm not drinking tonight." You know, it was always tonight. I'm not drinking tonight. But I think in the back of my mind when I first started, I always was like, "Man, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'm not gonna be able to quit forever. Like I'm too young. The party can't be over." You know, and so I was afraid to be honest with people about like, "Hey, I'm an alcoholic. I've got a drinking problem. Like drinking is causing like major problems in my life, and I have to quit drinking." I didn't want to tell that to people because I wanted an out. Like you said, people are going to hold you to it, and I wanted it out. And when I start drinking again, I didn't want people to say, "Ah, see, I told you so." So for the first few months, I didn't say anything to anybody, and you know, I'm going to meetings. I'm in AA. I'm trying to work out like the issues that I'm having around alcohol, but I'm not sharing it with anybody because, you know, it was, you know, kind of embarrassment. And when I first got started, it was like, man, am I really an alcoholic? Like, I know for the longest time, I just wanted to like drink different. Like, I just wanted to moderate my drinking. It was like, all right, I'm going to drink beer instead of liquor, or I'm only going to drink after 5, or I'm only going to drink on the weekends. I'm not going to drink around my kids. I'm not going to put them in the car drunk anymore. And like all these different things. And I could never moderate it. Like it was, you know, one beer was too many and a million was never enough. It was always this problem of, you know, one drink always led to 100, which always led to, you know, drugs and drinking and driving and poor decision making and all these other things that would cause like these major issues in my life. And, you know, I didn't want to tell anybody about it because I was embarrassed and because I wanted to, you know, in the back of my mind, I wanted to drink again. I was like, I'm just going to get fixed and then I can drink again. And so after about, you know, 3.5 months of kind of keeping it a secret and just saying, no, I did. I went out and drank it. I went out and drank again. And it was fucking horrible. It was as horrible as it was even worse than when I was drinking before because I had a belly full of booze and a mind full of AA. And that's a fucked up place to be. Like if you're gonna do one or the other, fucking do it. Like do not be in AA and drink because if you have a drinking problem, which I most definitely did, and now that I'm kind of clear-headed and have gone through the program, it's like I'm very aware that I have a drinking problem. But to have a problem and to have like the principles of AA in your mind, it's a mind fuck. You'd rather just have a drinking problem or just be in AA. But combining them both was the worst fucking experience of my life. So at that point, that was about 6 months ago. In fact, so after my relapse, I just took. It's been 6 months. I just took my 6-month token on Friday. And
Nice.
That's awesome.
yeah,
Congrats.
thanks, man. I appreciate it. So, but in this second, like since I relapsed, I've become more and more comfortable with sharing my story with people. Because I think it's important that if my story can have an impact and help someone else who feels like they need some help, whether it's like full on quitting or just toning it down or even just something to think about. You know, I don't share my story to I'm not trying to recruit anyone to sobriety. I'm not trying to recruit anyone to AA. It's judgment free. Like, you know, people drink around me all the time and I've learned how to sort of get comfortable with that. And there's some tools that I have, like you said, always having like some kind of drink in my hand. I fucking hate soda. I never drank soda. It was always booze or water. Those are the only two things I drank, booze or water. But as I started, like, I have to go out and be social. I'm not going to sit inside my house like a hermit just because I'm sober. So it's like, how do I attack this? It's like, well, I always got to have a drink in my hand because I'm an alcoholic, and that's what alcoholics do. They drink. And so I just choose to have a drink in my hand that doesn't have alcohol in it. And that's one method of many that I've learned along the way to try to keep me on the right path. But going back to what you were saying about feeling restless, you know, you were saying like, man, I get bored. You know, restless, irritable, and discontent, man, has been my entire life. My entire life has been those things. And, you know, what the program of AA has done is not just helping me put the bottle down. It has helped me like really fight some deep-rooted emotional demons that I've been fighting throughout my life. Because when I was restless, I would drink. And when I was irritated, I'd drink. And when I was hungry, I would drink. And when I'm mad, I'd drink. And when I'm happy, I'm drinking. If the sun is shining, I'm drinking. Yeah. If the sun is down, I'm drinking. Yeah. I'm going to drink because I'm going on a trip. I'm going to drink because I'm staying home. You know, it was always every situation in my life, I was drinking over it. And when I first started drinking, it was a way for me to escape. And it was a way for me to escape myself because the restless, irritable, and discontent, it stems from shame, guilt, and remorse. Of all these different things, from like my childhood to like stealing when I was a kid and hooking up with my friends' girlfriends, like, you know, when I'm in high school and like cheating.
Badass.
So I mean,
your girl.
Right, just like really,
God.
really doing fucked up shit, and it got to a point. By the time I graduated from college, when I was like 22, 23 years old, I hated the person I saw in the mirror because I hated it because my behaviors were just fucking horrifying. Like I was just a terrible person, and those feelings inside me caused me to drink. And when I would drink, it would make it even worse. And I have a history of depression as well, and I've been through therapy for like my depressive episodes. And so I hated the person who I was and the type of behaviors that I was exhibiting, and I have a history of depression. So I would drink, and that does not make a depressed egomaniac with low self-esteem. That does not make it better. It's like pouring fuel on the fire. So I would do more shitty stuff because I was under the influence, and I'd hate myself even more. And then I'd get depressed. Like, why do I hate myself? Well, I hate myself because I drink. Well, how did I drink? Because I hate myself. And it was like this disgusting kind of circling of the drain, where by the time I got to by the time I hit my bottom, and I'll tell you exactly what it is, because I think this story, I think I just need to start sharing it with as many people as possible. When I hit my rock bottom, I took my 4-month, she was 4 months old at the time. I took my baby, and my friend was like, "Hey, come over, let's have a few beers." I was like, "All right, I've got the baby. Like, I'll come over. We'll have 2-3 beers. We'll get in the car and we'll take off." So I took my 4-month-old down there, and 2 or 3 beers ended up turning into shots and games, and like my baby's just sleeping in her car seat in the corner, and I'm getting fucking blacked out, wasted. And I'm like, it's like 2 a.m. I'm like, all right, it's time to go. And my homie's like, "Oh, well, are you taking Uber, or you're not gonna drive, right?" Blah blah blah. And I said, no, I'm gonna take an Uber. And so I'm like, okay, say bye to everybody. And I take my baby, she's in her car seat, and like the Uber app isn't working. Like every time I like click a Uber ride, it'd be like, "Oh, sorry, your ride got canceled." And I kept doing it. I did like 2 or 3 times. And finally I was all fucked up. I was like, you know what, fuck it, fuck a Uber, I'm fine. And I put my 4-month-old baby in the car, and I started driving down the road, fucking one eye over the steering wheel, like just all fucked up. Barely remember. The only part of the ride I remember is getting on the freeway, because I remember it being so fucking bright in that intersection. I'm like, why is it so fucking bright? And so the next morning I wake up, and I'm like, oh fuck, like where am I? I'm hungover. And then I think, I'm like, where's the baby? How did I get home? Like, did I fucking leave the baby at the party? And like, you ever have that feeling where you left your phone somewhere, or left your keys somewhere, and you get that pit in your gut?
Yeah.
So you know that feeling when you leave your phone? Imagine that feeling when you don't know where your fucking kid is.
I can imagine.
And so the shame and guilt and remorse cycle that I had been on for like my entire fucking life had just hit me like a ton of fucking bricks. And I look, I fucking scramble, and the baby's fine. She's sleeping right there. I look in the driveway. My car's parked a little sideways, but it's in the driveway. I made it. But man, that fucking weight of that moment just sat on me forever. And in that moment, that was almost 2 years ago now. And for the next year and a half, every time I would drink, I just had this crushing guilt. And that's when I started like, I want to drink different. I just want to drink beer. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do that. But every time I'd pick up a drink, it would just turn into another fucking mess, another slew of shitty decisions, and just more guilt and more shame and more remorse. And finally, it all came to a head when I went to LA, and I was basically gone for 3 days, boozing, doing coke, just fucking going crazy. I'm a married man with 2 young babies. I've got a 4-month-old and a 2-year-old at home at the time. And I'm fucking out in LA, like doing coke for 3 days straight. I come home, it's Sunday morning. I'm, of course, all hungover and like not wanting to do shit. And my 2.5-year-old at the time comes up to me and she goes, "Daddy, come play with me." And I'm like, nah, Daddy's hungover. Like, Daddy doesn't feel good. Like, we'll play later. And she goes, okay. And I overhear this, she walks down the hall, and I overhear her talking to her mom. And she goes, "Mommy, why isn't Daddy feeling good? Why can't he play with me?" And of course, Kira's like, "Well, Daddy's just kind of sick. He'll be okay. Like, when he feels better, he'll play with you." And so here I am, blowing off my kid again. Right. I'm putting my wife in a position where she has to lie to my kid about what's going on. I'm laying on my couch like a fucking coked out dirtbag, and I just couldn't fucking do it anymore. After dragging my ass on the bottom of the fucking barrel for over a year, that was Sunday, March 19th, or maybe March 18th, and Tuesday, I believe it was March 20th of 2017, my buddy approaches me actually, and he goes, "Hey, I'm going to dry out for 30 days. I'm going to sober up. Do you want to be my accountability partner?" And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I need. I need to get sober for 30 days, clear this out, and everything's going to be fine. He goes, "Okay, we'll do it." Day 3, I'm fucking shaking. I'm obsessing. I'm like, dude, where am I going to get a drink? I could not fucking work. I could not fucking work because I was on my 3rd day without booze.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I was like, man, I need to figure out what's going on. I need help. And that's when I went and sought the outside help and kind of started this journey. But it was a fucking disaster to get there. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. And, you know, anybody who feels like you're struggling on any level, I mean, I never got into any legal trouble. I never hurt anyone, luckily. I never got anyone hurt, luckily. I mean, I did some stupid shit, you know, in my history. I started looking back at my history. I'm like riding a motorcycle, no helmet on, all fucked up. I crashed it and just fucked my whole world up. But I survived, so no big deal. Putting my kids in the car, drinking and driving, being a dick to my wife, like just all this stuff. And when I started like counting the inventory of my life at that time, it was time.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get there, but you know, my name is Brent and I'm definitely an alcoholic and I need to be exactly where I am right now, and that's not drinking because I'm a danger to myself and others when I am. So, you know, that's kind of my story and how I got to where I am today.
Damn.
And,
I mean, an asshole.
Amen. The truth comes out.
Fucking asshole.
Yes, I am.
But man, hey,
And I'm
That's
trying
it.
not
Yeah.
to be anymore.
blessings.
No,
so-
man. The first step is the self-evaluation.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, at least you had the character enough to know that. Because you'll see it. Some dudes don't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they'll just keep going. Whatever. Life's all right.
And maturity,
Maturity,
man,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing
And-
too.
and,
Like I think I'm ready to see
counting
me
your
at like.
responsibilities.
I think I'm ready to see me at sober.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen myself like, dude. I've been drinking since I was 15,
Same.
and it's been a constant. It's never been like I said, I haven't seen like a sober weekend in a long time. Like even when you have like let's say 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a big cloud. That cloud's still kind of just waiting to come back over. You know what I mean? Like, so
Right.
I mean, 30 days is long. I think, and not 60 days even longer. And I can't imagine like my body, just what my body's gonna do.
Well, I can't say I'm an alcoholic. You
No,
know what
no,
I mean?
no.
But I can only imagine that it's really fucking hard and terrible
Mm.
because I know it's hard as fuck for me to quit smoking cigarettes.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's my bad habit
yeah.
is smoking fucking cigarettes, and seeing that, but. I know I can go to a fucking party and just have one beer and tell everybody to fuck off. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you have a different confidence, yo.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
because I
great.
mean, I've used to smoke a lot of cigarettes, and I quit those for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And whatever, it's whatever. I used to smoke weed. Quit that like right off the bat. Wasn't really a big pill popper. You know, what I mean, it's only alcohol. Alcohol is the one that I can't really kick. It's always been my hardest one to kick, I should say. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I mean, I'm excited. I should say. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
cool that I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say you're more fun when you're drunk, but
oh yeah, for sure.
but you know, this is it's something I'm excited for.
Like
you.
Brent said though, I got to figure out how to be fun without it.
And you
Yeah, I mean,
will, and you will, and it takes time, and it is hard. And you know, one of my biggest fears around drinking, because I like you guys. I mean, you guys like became my homies because like we were all drinking together,
Right.
and like all my homies, just like you guys. You know, it's like we're a crew of drinkers. Like that's what we did, and that's what we did together. And one of my biggest fears around getting sober, I was like, oh my
Your
friends
friends
aren't gonna invite me anywhere. No one's gonna like me anymore. I'm gonna be like a wet blanket on this party. And obviously, all those fears are like unfounded, right? Like I thought, and another thing, like again. Being an alcoholic, most alcoholics are like egomaniacs with low self-esteem. As fucked up as that is, we'll puff our chest out and tell you how fucking great we are, but inside we're like, I was a scared little boy.
Yeah.
And so with my egomania, my thing was like, and my self-centeredness is a big thing for me too. And I always thought like I'm the fucking life of the party, and if I stop partying, no one's gonna have fun because I'm the life of the party, and everybody expects me to be like this fucking wild and crazy. And like I started identifying with
Jump
like,
off the roof, white boy.
dude. That's basically it. That's basically.
I know you'll do it. Dude, ask him. I
But,
bet
hey,
you do.
and that's basically what it was. It was like, dude, Brent will do damn near anything, and they called me Brent the Shirtless because I would get drunk, and no matter where we were, I'd take my shirt off and start talking shit and like just be a fucking animal, right? And so my fear when I quit drinking was like, oh my god, I'm gonna quit drinking, and no one's gonna have fun anymore because I'm the life of the party. Like that's how self-centered my thinking was,
Yeah.
right? And so I remember the very first party I went to, it was like this backyard cookout, and I had my fucking Perrier with me, and I walk in and I'm all nervous because I'm with my drinking buddies, and I walk in and someone's like, put that fucking Perrier down and have a beer, because you know that's how my friends are.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm good right now, right? And like I'm fucking waiting for this reaction. Like, fuck you, drink this beer. You're not good. You're gonna fucking drink. And, yeah, exactly. Right. Because that's how my homies are.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah,
dude.
that's fucking gay. You know, he's
Go
like,
home.
so my buddy's like, put that period down and have a fucking beer. I was like, no, I'm good right now. And you know what? He was like, all right. And everyone had a good time, and the world kept spinning. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's not all about me. Holy shit. Like, mind blown.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like weird little things like that you know, really I was scared or nervous about in my sobriety, and you kind of have to find your way through. But for the most part, it's not nearly as big as you make it up in your head.
Yeah.
And just to touch on a little bit about, like, you know, alcoholism and being an alcoholic, it has nothing to do with how much you drink or how you drink. It really doesn't even have anything to do with the alcohol.
Is it more why?
It's exactly. It's why. It is a set of character defects within a person. So like these things like for me, it was, you know, self-centeredness and egomania and like fucking fear of people and fear of like, oh my God, am I going to have fear, like, economic insecurities? Like, am I going to have enough money? And like never feeling free and never feeling happy. And like, they use the word serenity a lot in sobriety. And for me, when I first got sober, I was like, man, I'm fucking bored all the time. And this old timer came up to me, and I was telling him, I was like, man, sobriety's hard. I'm fucking bored all the time. And he's like, are you bored, or are you finally at peace and you just don't know how to deal with it because your life as an alcoholic is to do nothing but create chaos? And that was my life, man. When I was drinking, was like all I was doing was creating chaos left and right. And it was all in the name of fun and it's just Brent being drunk and all these different things. But the reality is I was restless, irritable, I was discontent, and it stemmed from all this shit that I had to clean out of my closet and come to terms with and forgive myself for.
Responsible.
Yeah,
Irresponsible.
and I was all of the above. So alcoholism, you know, people are like, well, am I an alcoholic? Or like, you know, my mom was asking me the other day, I was talking to her about it, and she's like, well, do you think so-and-so is an alcoholic? And the fact of the matter is, the only person who can label you an alcoholic is yourself. And I took the online tests, I did the surveys, I asked around because I was like, am I an alcoholic? Am I not? This and that. And really the only person that can decide is yourself. And I'll never forget the day that I came to terms with it. I was telling an old timer after the meeting, he's like, yeah, how's sobriety going? I was probably like 60 days in, something like that. And I was like, man, it's all right. Like, you know, but I'm looking around and like, I've never been in trouble with the law. I've never got anyone hurt. Like, my marriage is fine. I haven't like lost my house or had any weird financial issues.
Yeah.
And I list all these things, and he looks at me and he goes, not yet. And that fucking hit me like a ton of bricks. He's like, what are you gonna do? He's gonna wait. You're gonna wait till you wrap your car around a pole? You're gonna get sober in jail when you fucking T-bone someone? And that was the moment where I was like, damn, like I am. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. And then like 4 weeks later, I went out drinking again. And I was like, oh, this is fucking terrible. I'm an alcoholic. All right. I went out and experimented one more time. I was like, no, I can totally do it. And like, I had a few beers at the beach during 4th of July. And I actually had a couple cocktails over at Dom's on the 3rd. Okay. And I had 2 cocktails at Dom's. And it got me drunk because, like, you know, a couple Crown and Coke, and I'm not drinking anymore, so I have a couple of those, and I'm like drunk. And I walk into my house, and Kira goes, hey, what's up? And I was like, I'm drunk. And, you know, she's very supportive of everything I do. She's an angel. She never gives me shit for anything. She's like, oh, were you over there drinking? I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't want to drink anymore. I was like, I feel like shit. And then, of course, the next day I drank. You know, it fucking got messy for a minute. But, you know, I got back on the rails, and I'm fucking, you know, my life is great now because I'm working on just being a better human being. And that's what the 12-step program does. Yeah. There's only one step that has anything to do with alcohol, and it's the first one. You know, the first step of the 12 steps is, you know, admitting that you're powerless over alcohol and your life's unmanageable. The rest of them are how to be a better person. And that's what I'm learning how to do, is to be a better person and to forgive myself and come to terms, so I don't have that shame and guilt and remorse, so I'm not restless, irritable, and discontent, so I don't have the drink. And that's why, you know, the obsession to drink has been lifted. One day, you know, I work on it just one day at a time, but right now the obsession to drink has been lifted, and it's because I've forgiven myself for all this shit that's gone on in the past, so I don't feel like I have to chase it, like run from myself.
Yeah, I think another thing though is is having a good supportive family and friends. You know,
huge.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Okay, well, the thing go ahead.
No, I got a question for both of you. And
okay,
so no, after you. Go ahead.
When you were talking about the part where like I get bored a lot. And it's like, because I just find myself bored. So then I think of like, what I can do? Can I go work out again? Like, I don't know. This is going to be the 3rd time today. I'm like, fucking, like, I don't want to work out again. No. Woman's like, should I read a book? I'm like, nah, that's stupid. I don't
Next thing you know, Rich will be doing a reading challenge in 2019.
Yeah, fucking 2019.
Read a book every week.
Yeah, fuck that.
No, what you can do is just fucking hold your kids, man.
No, yeah. So
Woo,
I just find things to like do with the kids. Like little games and stuff. And I'm thinking like, well, I can spend more time with them and help Napa with the school. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just got to figure out things to do and trying to figure out that it's okay that I don't have a drink. It's fine. Just figure something else to do. It's okay to be. Yeah, it's okay to not be drunk.
Hey, I'll challenge you with something, man. Next time you're sitting around thinking I'm bored, instead of using the word bored, use the word say I'm at peace, or I'm having I'm having a moment of serenity. Because again, it's especially for like young active dudes like us, it's so important to like always be doing something, right? Like, especially like working out, or like, working on the bikes, or like working on your audio. Like you say, you get up and tweak out on the audio in the morning, and like, I do the same shit. I get up and do my shit. Like for young driven people like us, always having something to do is such an important part of our identity. But it's okay to have moments where you're not being productive, and that's one thing I'm trying to work on. Is like it's okay just to sit there for a minute. Now you don't want to sit on the couch and binge watch Netflix for the fucking rest of the month. Right. But I mean, but when you're bored and you look around, you're like, I already worked out today. My duties to my wife and children and my family are square. You know what? I'm gonna sit here. And it's okay. I'm at peace. I'm not bored. I'm at peace. And if you try to change some of the language around it, it might help you just to kind of like, it helped me. It helped me to just kind of like, okay, I'm not bored. I'm just calm and at peace. And that's cool. And I'll sit back. And usually you sit there for 5 fucking minutes and something blows up. The kids need something, the wife needs something. When you're in those moments, it's usually for like 5 minutes. You're like, damn it, I wish I was bored again. Now I got all this shit to do.
Rich would be, I'm not gay. I don't need to touch anybody. My friends, they still think I'm cool.
Start texting everybody, hey, you think I'm cool? You still think I'm cool, right?
Rich just goes on his fucking phone and just starts talking shit there. You know what? I ain't got a drink today. Fuck you.
Fuck you, dog.
And believe me, I'll get that message.
Right. So what was the question?
So is it coming from people that are going sober, right? I don't consider myself an alcoholic like Uncle Donald said, but I do like the taste of it, and I don't think that like I need to drink every day. I just don't. It doesn't come across my mind to do that. Like it's more of a weekend social thing.
Yeah,
for me, right?
Well, that was for me. That's for me. I don't drink during the week. Monday all the way to Thursday, I don't drink. I drink Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday with you guys. Well, but then I drink a lot.
Right, collectively.
Yeah.
So is it? I don't. Is it acceptable? Like, or is it like? How do I say this? Does me enjoying the taste of it, does that make me like, oh, you're on the road to being an alcoholic?
Absolutely not, because the alcohol.
You don't get what I'm trying to say. I don't want to make it seem like.
Dude, I don't care. I don't care if you crush a bottle of Hennessy every single fucking day. That doesn't make you an alcoholic. It has nothing to do with how much you drink or when you drink. I don't drink Monday through Thursday. I drink every day. I only do beer.
When you start making silly decisions and shit like that.
Well,
when it jeopardizes, is it more of your priorities?
Well, it's more of. And this is gonna sound kind of corny, but I guess the best way I could put it is, it's a spiritual thing. Like I drank because I had demons inside me that I couldn't hear the voices in my head, and not literal voices, but like again, it goes back to the shame and guilt and remorse from all the.
Uncle Nono's about to be like, damn, you already talked to yourself.
Now
you hear voices.
Crazy, right? So
and he hears voices.
So it has to do with like. Are you drinking to run from something? Are you using it as a crutch? And are you using it so much that your life becomes unmanageable? Because I don't care if you drink every day or binge or party or whatever. Dude, you are not an alcoholic unless you are an alcoholic, and only you can define that. And from talking to you in the little bit that you just described, it sounds like that you're not an alcoholic, because it doesn't sound like you clutch on to the bottle in order to reprieve yourself from these issues that you have going on in your life on a regular, ongoing basis over a long period of time.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me,
but can you go to a party and everybody's drinking and you not drink?
I think I can. I mean, if
you ever did it though?
I've never been like focused on the idea of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But can you just like walk in there and be like, no, I don't fucking feel like drinking today. I'm just gonna go fucking hang out.
I think I could. I think I could.
But have you ever did it?
I've never done it.
I've done it many times.
Yeah, see.
Well,
for
that's
me,
that's like I said, because I think I enjoy the taste of alcohol. I mean, I don't drink no trash.
No, Vince, you're alcoholic.
Man,
Son.
shut up.
no, like for me, for me it was just always like, I think for me it was like, man, why can't I do anything without alcohol on the weekends?
Yeah, yeah. That was
Like,
a good one for
oh,
me,
no,
too,
Like,
yeah.
I'm like,
No,
why
I
can't I
can't.
not drink on Friday? The minute I get home, like even if my wife leaves and I know I'm not going nowhere, I'm drinking beer.
Mm-hmm.
The minute Saturday I wake up after practice, and if we don't go to practice, like I get my shit done, it's 1 o'clock, I'm drinking beer.
Yeah.
And if I don't have practice and I wake up at like 7 o'clock and I get my shit done, I'm drinking at 9:30.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is
You know
by
what I mean?
yourself.
And this is by myself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
see,
it's before I
can't
even
do
eat
that.
breakfast. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
if I start drinking, I ain't eating.
Yeah.
And then that becomes like a fucking hurricane of shit by 6.
Right, right. Yeah, my wife would be like, "Hey, we're taking the kids to the zoo." I was like, "Are we buying beers there? Or am I bringing beers?" "Hey,
Yeah.
we're going to do this." "Well, do they have beers there?" It was
Yeah.
always, "Do they have booze there? Or am
Yeah,
I bringing
man.
Like
my own?"
everything depended on if there was alcohol. there.
Where was that?
Everything was like about me and me getting fucked up. And
Yeah.
you know, I'll tell you another story that I think about a lot on this journey of sobriety. You know, my wife is super supportive, and she's like an angel on my shoulder, and never has done me wrong. And this is the type of alcoholic I was. We were at my cousin's wedding up in LA, and I had to bring my dog because we were up there for the weekend. I had no one to watch her. So I bring in my dog. We're staying at a hotel. It's dog friendly, but we're going to be gone all day doing my cousin's wedding. My buddy happens to live in the same town, so I hit him up. I'm like, "Hey, I don't want to leave my dog in the hotel. Can I put him in your backyard?" And he goes, "Yeah, you can put him in my backyard. I'm going out that night, but I'll leave the gate open so when you're done with the wedding, you come back and get the dog." All right, good. We put the dog away. We go to the wedding. I'm getting all fucked up. Kiara's like 9 months pregnant with my second daughter. She's like ready to pop. In fact, I think she gave birth like the next week. She's like all the way there, right? And we have a 2-year-old at the time, almost 2. And, you know, I'm sitting at my cousin's wedding and I'm drinking, and my wife's like, "Okay, I'm ready to go." She's 9 months fucking pregnant and has been chasing a 2-year-old around all day. Of course she's ready to go. Like, she's tired. Yeah. And she's like, "Okay, I'm ready to go back to the hotel." And I'm like, "All right, you go ahead without me. I'll take an Uber." Like, my cousin's wedding. I'm fucked up, and I'm going to get more fucked up. So you go, scoot on, go take the kid and get the dog and get out of my hair. I'll be back at the hotel. And she goes, "Come on." And like, she's like, "Please just, you know, come with me." I was like, "Listen, this is a big deal for me, and I want to drink because it's all about me. So go take care of it, and I'll be back at the hotel." And she's like, "All right." And, you know, she wasn't real happy about that, but she was like, "All right." And she went and did it. So she goes to pick up the dog, and she calls me, and she's like, "Hey, the gate is locked, and I hear the dog crying on the other side, but your friend locked the gate. How do I get the dog out?" And my response to her was like, "I don't know, fucking deal with it. Leave the dog, get the dog. I don't give a fuck." So the 2-year-old is in the car with the car running. My wife is 9 months pregnant, and she's like trying to hop the fence to fucking get over. And could you imagine,
No
like, dude,
way.
it's like 11:30 at night.
dick.
It's
She's still with you?
Yeah, can you believe that? Yeah.
She's awesome.
No.
She's awesome.
Yeah,
She's
I
a fucking
can't,
rider.
I can't believe it either. So basically, she calls me. She's like, "I'm having, you know, it's 11:30 at night in an area she's never been in. My kid's in the car. She's 9 months pregnant. She's trying to get my fucking dog out from this gate." And
I'll tell you what, my family would be on my ass.
there.
If they heard that story, I'm getting jumped by my own family.
And you know what my response was? "Fucking deal with it. I'll see you at the hotel." Click, boom, drinking.
Damn, you're a dick. No, I mean,
It-
at that point, yeah.
At that
but
point, right?
You understand now, but
And so imagine, you know, her and I have been together for, it'll be 8 years this July. Imagine 7 years of that shit. Just constant. Me, what I want to do, when I want to do it. You're either with me or you're against me, and if you're against me, fuck off. To my own wife is basically how I acted.
Wow.
And so yeah,
I'll tell you what.
I needed to cut that shit out.
I mean, the way that you're talking right now, she got a good 20 years upcoming.
Oh, dude, I got the rest of my life to make it up to her. And one of the biggest things sobriety has done for me is it's allowed me. Again, I'm being trained. My sponsor tells me all the time, man. He goes, "It's not about you." Every time I'm complaining about something, I was like, "Man, fucking life is hard." Blah 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 blah. It's not about you. Focus on your wife. I was complaining about the holidays. I was like, "Man, I fucking hate the holidays. Like, my schedule's all out of whack, and I'm trying to do this. I can't get anything done." He's like, "It's not about you." He's like, "Christmas is about your kids." He's like, your kids are gonna wake up on Christmas and smile, and your wife's gonna be with them. You're gonna be laughing. He's like, "Why are you focusing on all this other shit? It's not about you." And so I'm really working on it not being about me. And one of the biggest ways I can do that, and because I owe restitution, is to focus on my marriage, which has been absolutely life-changing in the last 9 months, and focus on quality time with my kids,
Right, so-
and trying to get outside of myself.
So my only thing, if you don't mind me saying, like, if I were you, if you know, if we had to switch lives, like, I know that we talked earlier about, like, being on the grind and doing, like, these things. Like, for me, like, it would be like starting January, you know, when you said you come back to work, like, that would be my focus. If I had kids, I'd be like, all right, I got to do this for them. But then, you know, when the holiday season comes around and work, you know, is still there. My thinking, at least I'd hope so, when I have kids, like it'd be like, why do I work so hard in the first place? And for me, it would be for them and for my you know, my family.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
it sounds like.
I honestly, I work hard because I'm addicted to that too, man. I'm an addict.
Which is not a bad. I mean, it can being addicted to work can be a bad thing.
It
also.
can be a bad thing, and honestly, sometimes I have to check it. Sometimes I have to check it a little bit because I will treat work like I treated alcohol, where it's like the minute something like the minute I have an opportunity at work, and I run, you know, I run my own business. So for me, it's like every opportunity I have, the money for the most part comes to me. So it's not like I'm working like overtime for like hourly wage or anything like that. It's not like, oh, I'm helping the boss make more money. It's me, and it's all about me, and it's a very similar thing at my work. And so when something pops up, I mean, I was gone all week. I was gone working all weekend. And that's okay because the holidays had me kind of backed up and these different things. But man, I could work 12 hours a day, every fucking day, 7 days a week, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. I could do that every goddamn day. I love it. I'm addicted to it. But I gotta check that too. And sometimes I gotta turn my phone off because I'm on my phone. All of my clients blowing me up all the time. And I love work, so I deal with it all the time. And sometimes I gotta look over and be like, okay, my kids are getting ignored, my wife is getting ignored, and I gotta like lay off that too. Like it's hard to do sometimes, but I gotta focus on that too.
Marriage and kids, man, is nuts, dude.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's tons of work, dude.
And it takes an intentional effort. And you know, people say, oh, it's work. Well, is it work because, again, going back to the life thing, is it work because it's happening to you? Like, oh man, this relationship is work. Is it work? Is it work because your wife's nagging you because you're not paying attention and because you're not being intentional? Is it work because your kids are yanking on you because you haven't been around? Or is it work because you're putting in work? Meaning, are you making a conscious effort to work on it? Yeah. So now, instead of my relationship being work, because I used to say, man, marriage is a lot of work. Because my wife was mad at me because I left her 9 months pregnant trying to get my dog over a locked fence.
Well, that's right. So
that's a lot of work. That was work. Like, to me, I was like, oh man, this is work because I'm working on having her not be mad at me anymore. But now my relationship is work because I'm working on focusing on her. It's like, okay, where am I going to get my date night in with my wife? Where am I going to get my quality time with my kids? Because I've got all this like professional work, and then I've got my social obligations with my friends. So I like look at my schedule at the beginning of every week and I plan it out. I'm like, okay, here's my date night, here's my work hours, here's where I'm hanging out with the homies, and here's where I'm spending some time with my daughters. And you got to focus on that shit intentionally, and not this is what I'm doing, this is when I'm doing it, this is how I'm doing it, and this is why I'm doing it. And that's how I try to focus on everything in my life, because if not, it's going to be working the opposite way where my wife's mad at me because I got drunk and fucking didn't show up for 3 days. Right. That's why it used to be work. Yeah. Now it's work because I'm working at it, and it's made all the difference in the world.
It's like we were playing catch up before.
Yeah, well,
maybe that's not the term, but it's like
easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission, right?
Right, exactly.
Right. So I was always begging for forgiveness. Please forgive me. Right. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. And I was like, man, this forgiveness shit, this is work. It's like, all right, yeah, I'll get you a purse if you just fucking forgive me. That is no way a relationship needs to run. Right, like that is not sustainable. Like she doesn't need that, and I was such a dick. She had a lot of purses. I'm like, man, another purse isn't really gonna do it this time, is it? You know, it's like. And so, you know, like you said, playing catch up and kind of like always apologizing for the past is rough.
Well, shit, man.
I mean, not that we don't run into those situations.
Nah, we all do.
Well, shit. Yeah. I mean, that's still kind of the shit I'm looking forward to.
Buy your own goddamn.
That money.
No, I mean that's kind of what I mean. It's a lot of work, you know. It's working because it's being attentive to what's needed. You know what I mean? Like
what's
fixing,
important.
Yeah. And honestly, I can agree with them. Like drinking,
just truth bombs left and right.
Yeah, and the drinking doesn't help. You know what I mean? Like the drinking just.
It's a distraction.
It is.
It fucks things up, man. You know what I mean? Like
it makes it worse.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
And then you wake up the next morning you're like whatever, and pop another beer and it fucking just numbs it all up.
Yeah. And then and then it gets even worse. Yeah. And then you rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, shit, I don't think we're gonna wrap up with Brent. We have to bring him back.
No, I think man, to be honest,
so
man.
Actually, we'll have you in like 30 days.
Yeah, let's
see where
do
the
it.
fuck-
Let's do a follow up.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
down.
All right,
This
cool.
has been an awesome experience. Thanks for having me
man,
on.
and,
Sure.
and thanks for sharing. I honestly
I
did
didn't expect
I know
all
you're gonna
that.
drop all that knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like kind of like I was like, shit, that sounds like me.
Well, yeah.
Shit, that sounds like me.
Yeah.
Wait, I did not do the 9-month pregnant time over the fence.
yeah. Yeah. That was,
no, we
Something
would've what-
similar
Yeah,
though.
that's a little extreme there. Brent,
Yeah.
okay?
We would have
Yeah.
whooped your ass, Rich.
Yeah.
What the hell,
Yeah.
Rich?
Hell
Rich
no.
would have got tied up.
Nah.
Yeah, and it's so funny. And going back to what you were saying about like having the support, like it's important to have support in
Yes.
the sobriety.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. And I'm really lucky because I have all this support in my sobriety. And I had so much support, even in my alcoholism. I had a lot of support. Not that people were supporting me making shitty decisions, but I've got a lot of love in my corner. And people look at me and they're like, Brent, we love you and we're rooting for you and we encourage you. And honestly, like I think when you love someone, whether it's your homies or your family or whatever, when you love someone, it's easy to like, oh, that's just Brent being Brent and sweeping it under the rug.
Yeah.
And so I would challenge you guys and anybody else out there listening, like if you got a homie who's fucking up, sometimes tough love and sometimes like putting a mirror in their face, because I wish I would have had someone, and maybe I would have responded, maybe I wouldn't have, but like I needed a mirror in my face to be like, dude, look what you're fucking doing. Because telling that story about my wife now that I'm sober, like
That's
use
a
that.
fucked up
Someone
story.
should have kicked my ass.
Yeah.
Someone should have kicked my ass.
I kicking my own ass.
Wait till I get home and kick
You
my
know
ass.
you the man. I'm fucking you up.
But no, man, I appreciate it.
No, we
Yeah,
definitely
like I
come
said,
back with
I didn't know
Brent,
we were gonna go that in depth, but I'm glad you
glad,
did
man.
because, like I said, it just
Yeah, no,
it kind of
no, that was
woke me up a
really
little
deep.
more and what my goals are, and like I said, I'm not saying it's forever, but if at 60 days, I'm like, shit, I'm gonna keep this going because it's awesome, and I
Yeah.
hope that's
Yeah.
the fucking movement, because what's wrong with being sober?
Take it,
Nothing.
just take it one day at a time. Whether your destination is 60 days or whether it's the rest of your life, the vehicle to get you your destination is one day at a time. And as long as you take care of your vehicle, you'll get to your destination, man. So just work on it one day at a time. Don't worry about 60 days. Don't worry about what day you on, 5, 6, 7, something like that.
7.
Don't worry about day 8 today. Worry about going to bed sober tonight, and then worry about day 8 tomorrow. And don't worry about day 9 tomorrow. Worry about day 8 tomorrow, and that'll go a long way, because sometimes it's an hour at a time that you need to take it.
I'm gonna go talk to myself in the morning too.
Yeah, there you go. Start talking to yourself in the morning. Be like, I'm sober. I can do it.
Strong.
Yeah.
I'm gay.
I'm reliable. I'm strong. I'm reliable.
Who said that?
I can pay
I
attention.
can pay attention. I'm strong and I'm reliable.
I can wipe my own
man.
ass. All right, hey, we're gonna sign up for the ParBar for
Yes.
today.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, Brandon Edwards.
thank you,
Actually, you know what? Where
thank
can
you,
they find
thank
you for your real estate company?
Yeah, well, I mean, real estate, sobriety, or anything in between. You can find me on Facebook, Brent the Broker. You can find me on Instagram, Brent_the_broker. Or you can hit me up at brentthebroker.com.
Sounds like Ray.
If
Ray the
I'm
broker.
about to say, did he get that from you?
Yeah, hell yeah, he did. I've been meaning to talk to Ray.
Okay,
If you're
well, I was like,
listening,
hey, that
you're,
sound like Ray the
you're
Broker.
biting my
Ray,
tagline.
copycatter.
Yeah. Well, and just, Ray, if you're listening to this, it should be Ray the Realtor, right? Because shouldn't it be alliteration? Brent the Broker, Ray the Realtor, just something to think about. But
you
if you
go.
want to keep my moniker, that's cool too, because it's all love with me and Ray. He's a good dude. He's a good agent.
And you get a Ray
Yeah.
at Ray_the broker or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm like, that sounded like Ray's
yeah,
fucking line.
Yeah, you find Ray. He's good people too. If you find Ray before me in the real estate game, you're in good hands. So no worries there.
Cool. And also, for all those people, I know this isn't exactly the way the ParBar usually rolls, but shit, I'm going sober, so it's all good. These guys will drink. We'll get drunk. We'll still have fun over here. I'm not gonna ruin
No,
anyone's
so what we're
party
gonna
and shit.
do is me and Uncle Noah are gonna get drunk and see if Rich will just take care of us.
Yeah,
There we go.
got you. Anyway, we out here from the ParBar. You guys good?
2018, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody. We'll
Happy
talk to you
New
guys
Year.
next week. Estilators.
Shoots.
That's crazy, bro. How you get that? Huh? Sober. Man, I think it's
Thanks,
easy
Brent.
to do.
Appreciate you,
I
brother.
can't see
Go on, man.
anybody.
Thanks for having me
being
on.